Man, Canadian wrestling crowds are truly a different breed, aren't they? I'm John Retton with my review of AEW Dynamite from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Let me know your thoughts on the show in the comments, please. Honestly, the crowd energy, it was so electric. From beginning to the very end. The crowd energy is so goddamn infectious, that honestly everybody in attendance, including the hot dog vendors, including the ticket takers, should immediately go to their local clinic and get tested for said infectious energy. In all seriousness, this actually was great to hear. Just a really, really hot crowd. The Canadian crowds, they're going to let you know how they feel. Doesn't matter what sporting event, what venture, they are going to absolutely cheer their hometown heroes with stars in their eyes. And starts off pretty goddamn good with a big old star, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the current AEW World Champion, having his bar mitzvah. Justin Roberts, who always smiles so much, I guess they're smiling. But nevertheless, it's actually almost scary how much he smiles. But he says carrying on the tradition of his forefathers, but better because, well, he's better than us and we know it. He's out there with 4 local talents or 4 ladies of the evening. I have no goddamn idea. I don't want to appear sexist, but they look great. They really look great. And MJF just dressed all garishly, having so much fun. And then, one kisses him on the cheek and then he full on makes out with one because, of course, his fiance recently left him. So why not have a whole bunch of fun? And then streamers, balloons, the crowd's cheering him, and then he cuts them right back down and makes them hate him by saying, you people used to think Bret Hart was entertaining. Let's be honest. Shawn was always better. This is the only time I'm going to disagree with MJF because Bret was always better than Shawn, and I will continue to say that. You can fight me in the comments if you want, but I'm right. Nah, if you like Shawn, that's great. Bret's better, though. And that got some boos. He praises Judaism, the only religion that matters, and this was great. I'm not going to try to go through every single goddamn thing, even though I have a page of notes here, because this was great. This went 20 minutes, kept moving. Yes, it dissolved into the usual barbs of like everybody throwing barbs at each other, but it was good because I had MJF starting out. This is so over the top, it's ridiculous, I love this all. Suddenly, Tarzan Boy plays. Whoa. Jungle Boy Jack Perry is here. Actually, Jack Perry, just call him Jack Perry. He says so, and then Sammy Guevara's music hits. And then he's in the main event, by the way. He comes out to various boos. Oh, Max. And then suddenly Darby Allin's music plays. He hasn't been seen since losing the championship to Samoa Joe. I think he took some time off, which, okay, he missed Revolution. And he's back. Big old pop for Darby. Big old pop. They love Darby there. And they all want to, of course, he has a mic. That's convenient. And they all want a title match. They all said, no, Max is like, oh, that's cute. But then Jack Perry fires off a few lines, mentions the Double or Nothing 2020 match, the first pay-per-view of the pandemic. We went nearly 20 minutes, and then you cheated, like you always do. How MJF, you haven't been on Dark, you haven't been on Elevation, you haven't even been on Rampage. But we've all cut our teeth, we've all done this stuff and everything. There's a bunch of people in the back that have had to do this stuff, but you've been getting the preferential treatment. And you keep doing the same hokey bullshit, and then the crowd chants hokey bullshit, and they try to edit it, and it doesn't really work all that well. Good promo from Jack Perry, and then Sammy basically says, I'm going to turn this bar mitzvah into a recircumcision, which, that was a pretty good line. And Sammy hasn't had a lot of good lines. Sammy really doesn't get to say a lot of good stuff because Sammy has scrambled eggs for brains. But he did, I'm just a bump guy for Jericho. I worked my ass off. I worked at Whataburger, worked on the indies and everything. And I'm sure he did put in the time and everything. And he's not going to be wrestling much longer if he doesn't learn to stop taking bumps on his head. But, then he knocks Canada to bring him right back down because he's the heel. MJF mentions, well, Sammy, I'm amazed you could take time out of your busy schedule, get them brawls backstage. And then Darby finally just tells him to shut up and says, hey, everybody, hold your applause until I'm done. Like, we're all having a performance, but he says, I dropped out of school rather than change a film project that I had. And then he didn't want to change. He refused to change. And then AEW lets him be him. Mentions the Buddy Wayne Academy. He recently, I think at the Five show sometime last year, he offered Nick Wayne a contract when Nick Wayne turns 18. Nick Wayne, Buddy Wayne's son. You know, the good Buddy Wayne. Not the one in Memphis, but the good one in the Pacific Northwest. Read up on Buddy Wayne from Memphis, and you will know why I said that, just so you know. Nick Wayne, no. Can't wait to see him on AEW programming. But back to this. He basically says, he calls out anybody that cries about their spot, like, you know, on Twitter, that they don't want to, you know, they're not happy with their spot, so they want to leave. They want out of their contract and everything, but Darby says there's going to be no bidding for me because no other company is going to want him. He's not wrong. I mean, I don't even think a Japanese company would want him. AEW will be his home. And he better hope he continues to make a whole lot of money and his body holds up, because I don't think that he's going to be wrestling much past 35, maybe 40 if he's lucky. Also, where was Sting? Where was Sting, by the way? But anyway, there you go. That was good. That was good stuff, but it wasn't over yet. MJF then mocks Sammy, saying, you know, Sammy, in 7 months I'm going to propose to a new girl, Guevara. Then he fires back, well, didn't your fiance just leave you? And then, they get all in this. By the way, all this time there was a cake and all this, you know, party stuff out there. And I knew what they were going to do, and it was obvious what they were going to do. So then there are the 4 pillars. Well, 3, because I don't think Sammy's going to be around long enough to be a pillar. There's already cracks in that pillar. And then he edits the Jim Cornette line, said, thank you, fuck you, bye. Said, thank you, screw you, bye. That gets boos because they know that he listens. They know that he listens. And they don't like that certain talents that they in their company listen to criticisms that are actually very goddamn valid, just so you know. My opinion, I'm sticking to it. But MJF especially, he can say that, and they don't like it. And then they get in a brawl. This is going to be the first of many brawls that happen. And MJF gets sent off the table into the cake. And he's all upset and everything and all that. And this was 20-something minutes of the show. Good. Because, unfortunately, it was all downhill from here. Maybe not all downhill, but there weren't a lot of peaks after this. This was good. So I'm not saying it needed to go on longer. And maybe you got a little bit long in the tooth with all the barbs. Ooh. But you know what? It was good. Even Sammy did fine. And then Jericho apparently met with Winnipeg officials and got a street named after him. I wonder if the address 1621 happens to exist. His wife would want to be there. She loves 1621. You know. But nevertheless, we get the card rundown. Wild thing, you make the Jets sing? They aren't winning a Stanley Cup anytime soon? Oh, wild thing. Are the Jets going to win a Stanley Cup? I don't know much about hockey. Hangman has his old theme back there. Quit fucking whining in the whining on Twitter about it. I didn't mind his other one, Ghost Riders in the Sky, a rendition of that. So, the BBC. I know it's the BCC, but BBC is funnier. Claudio, Mox, and Yuta taking on Hangman, Uno, and Stu Grayson, who's back in Canada, hasn't been on AEW programming for a while after his contract wasn't renewed. He got a big pop. It will never be over, Mox Anderson. It will never be over. It will never be over, seriously. This will never be over between them. A Texas Death Match? No. They're going to have to basically nuke each other next to end this, and it'll still be for a 2 count. There was Stu chants. He showed off, and look, I'm sure it was a big thrill for him, and I'm sure everybody loved being in this match. You know what I didn't love? This match, because I don't want to see this. I don't want to see these people participate with each other anymore. I don't want to see it. It wasn't dull. I just didn't care. Look, Vegeta, more bald people. And then Yuta later ends up hitting Hangman with the bell, the ring bell, while the referee's distracted. The BBC end up taking over. And then, even though Stu shows off and we get a couple near falls, he gets choked out. And then Mox keeps choking him out. Then the BBC beat down Uno. And Silver and Reynolds show up, and the two nondescript guys, so to speak, from the Dark Order run them off. We are over 30. We are almost 40 minutes into this show by this point. So then, oh jeez, Juice Robinson tries to cut a promo, and he tries to sound like a badass. And Juice is a tough guy. He is. He went through the Young Lions system, despite being a guy that was fully formed and wanted to prove his worth in New Japan, and did do that. But good, he talked about taking down Ricky Starks. You're not going to do anything. Yeah, You probably shouldn't have either, Juice. You probably should have had a manager speak for you. Recaps of the opening segment. Again, the best part of the show. Then Jade, and Layla Gray. I don't have the enthusiasm to do it. Jade. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry to the few people that actually look forward to that, but also it's late and I'm tired. Jade, with Layla Gray, took on Nicole Matthews. Now, Nicole Matthews wrestles in Canada, wrestled at a few of the first indie shows that I went to, and you know what? She's a talent. I'm so happy that she got to be on a stage like this. She's been killing it on the indie scene in Canada and doing great stuff. TBS Open Challenge, the bell rang, and then the bell rang. Jaded in about a minute. And Jade then mocks Renee and says, "Is that it? Do you not have anything more, Canada?" Then suddenly, Taya Valkyrie. Okay. I'm not going to lie to you. I always forget that Taya Valkyrie is Canadian. I'm not knocking. I'm just saying I always forget that. But Taya showed up. Big pop. That's good. She got a good reaction. She's a talent. And apparently she is all elite. She's going to be in in-ring action on a live Rampage coming up this Friday. And you know what? Good. If they can utilize her right, they got a talent there. They sent her husband, John Morrison, Johnny Elite, whatever the hell name they want to call him. But Taya Valkyrie can be somebody that can be beneficial to them. Utilize her right. She's still got plenty of years left. And she's got plenty of experience. She's wrestled all over the goddamn world. WWE didn't do jack shit with her, but I digress. Also, you ever get a chance to meet Taya Valkyrie? Super nice. She, one of the first wrestlers I met at the first indie show I went to, couldn't have been nicer. So happy for her success. And she laid out Layla with Jaded. That was actually pretty good. And then Shivani is with Ricky Starks on Juice, and he knocks the Bullet Club. He's not wrong. The Bullet Club hasn't meant shit for years. Too sweet, don't care. There are people who like the Bullet Club. There are people who like the Elite. There are people who like this, all this stuff. And that's fine. I don't. So, we get recaps of the Hobbs stuff. Hobbs' win. And I'm happy that Will Hobbs finally is a champion. Then we go to QTV and we do all the... Who is the blonde that looks like she was straight out of an adult film in an office? What is any of this and why is it happening? Apparently, if this was on Dark Elevation, I haven't seen it because I don't care because I haven't watched Dark Elevation in about a year. Outside of an occasional match that I might watch, I haven't watched a full episode. I haven't reviewed a full episode in over a year because I didn't want to anymore. Why is QT Marshall, an on-screen character here? I have nothing against him as a trainer or do whatever, but this is stupid. This is going to... Oh. Hobbs is toast. I'm sorry, I'm writing this off right now because if you're going to have QT be the guy for him, be the guy to be his manager, no. Welcome to Will's world, bitch. I hope that Hobbs can dig himself out of this, but good God, this is shit. This is dog shit. This is one of the worst things they've done in a while. Rampage will be live after the NCAA tourney. And fortunately, things only get better with Orange Cassidy versus Jeff Jarrett. AEW International Champion is an international object, folks. Okay. I'm not the biggest Jeff Jarrett fan, but they're utilizing him whatever. You got Team TNA there. Lethal was in a sling and then went backstage. Slingthal, as it were. And so Giant Silva Jr. and Sanjay Dutt were there. It's the same shit that you see from Orange Cassidy. I don't. Those who like him, great. I don't. And I never will, and I don't want to. Because it's the same shit. Yes, Jared mocking his pocket stuff and doing the kick stuff was fine, I guess. This was dumb, because it's the same shit you always see. The Giant got, involved, and then he got involved again. We got a sharpshooter at one point, because Canada. A figure four, we get a ref bump, then the guitar, then referee Aubrey marching down and takes the guitar away, and then Orange Cassidy tries to pretend that Giant Silva Jr. hit him in the knee with the guitar, even though there's no remnants of the stuff, but she kicks them out. And then Jay Lethal gets involved, running from a certain area with that award, that goddamn award that they won from Not Wings Hauser, or they stole from Not Wings Hauser, but just a 2 count, and then suddenly Orange Punch, 1, 2, 3. 15 minutes of cable television for this. For an Orange Cassidy match, it's the same thing you're always going to say. Those that like him, great. Those that don't, if you're like me, and I know I am, you don't. I don't care. I don't fucking care. So anyway, we get, the pre-tapes for the upcoming Trios match and the Acclaimed music video. I really hope they can get back to where they were as far as popularity. I fear they won't, but you know what? Everybody does love the Acclaimed. And then we have the Outcasts, and boy, does this division need to be outcast at this point, cast out into space with what they're doing with it. Tony, Ruby, and Saraya, Defender of Abuserverse, the SKO. You can probably guess what the S stands for. It doesn't stand for Saraya, and Saraya is the only S in this group. You get exactly what I'm saying. It's just, so moving on from that. Ruby, once upon a time, the grass was greener here. I get that Ruby wasn't utilized great in WWE, especially after having double shoulder surgery, or torn labrums, or whatever the hell it was, and being out for a while, and felt that she could contribute better in AEW and hasn't been able to. Now you're just making it seem, wait a second. So she's saying it sucks here, then that must mean she wants to go back over there, and you're not helping your goddamn promotion. No one wants to see or hear from Saraya, and if you do, that's fine, but honestly, that slinky neck bitch could piss the hell back off to Norwich, England, or whatever hole she crawled out of. Tony tried to cut up. This is really bad. This is bad. This is bad verbiage, bad promo stuff. This is bad for wrestling. This is bad for the women's division. They're going to try and make a women's blood and guts out of this, and unfortunately, I think it's going to end up being a catastrophe, even with some of the talent involved. Jamie and Britt show up, and then Jamie landed on her goddamn head when Tony tried to stuff Piledriver. Riho shows up with a pipe as tall as she is, and about as big around as she is, along with Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale and everything. And what is the point? What, more people just rushing out to do shit after we've had brawls after brawls and a whole bunch of characters we don't want to see? And I'm glad that they're trying to do something with the women's division, but this is the best you can fucking do? Well, goddamn. God fucking damn. 2.0 want to get with the Acclaimed. Possibly in the worst way, I don't know, and I don't care. Open challenge for Hobbs' TNT Championship is answered by Phoenix. A lot of good drama we built up there. Hey, here's an open challenge. Oh shit, who would? Oh, it's Phoenix. Good. Next week, Hook and Stokely in an ODQ match, and then more matches will be announced on Rampage. We have 28 minutes left when we get the introductions and entrances for this Trios Championship match. Hot crowd, they loved Kenny and Jericho. They were up for this. They were really, really up for this. Thankfully, referee Aubrey and not Rick Knox, and Rick Knox was not part of this. I'm glad, because usually whenever he is, it's just a mess, and maybe they felt with 3 trios, they needed somebody that didn't look like they were going to fall over. John Callis joins commentary, unfortunately. Look, House of Black, Jericho Appreciation Society, Jericho, Garcia, and Sammy against the Elite. You like this stuff, you're going to like this. If you're like me, you're going to not like it, because it was the same as the stuff that we saw at the pay-per-view, which apparently is over there somewhere. It was the same stuff. Brody is a beast, and look, if you like this, fine. You know what I did? I didn't like this. This is 21 minutes. Even a little bit more with the overrun. They went into an overrun with this. The crowd was very hot for Kenny and Jericho. I'm not going to knock that. And Kenny and Jericho had a really bad hockey fight at one point, and more people kept doing other moves and stupid shit. And then we cut to footage of the Dark Order and the BBC fighting with each other around an ambulance. Apparently, Evil Uno was taken to a hospital because he had a bad knee or something. I don't goddamn know. And then later Garcia got pinned. And everybody brawled to the entranceway because everybody just started brawling. We'll see you this weekend for the Royal Rumble. It's like we're going to 1999 Nitro on steroids. More steroids than before, I guess, but everybody's just brawling. Nearly 30 goddamn minutes for this with entrances and the overrun. And then everybody, Dark Order, Hangman, and whatever, battle to the entranceway. Hangman and Yuta are fighting. They get in the ring, and then suddenly the BBC are like, okay, we're gonna target Hangman. And then suddenly the Elite stand behind him, and oh boy, all this drama, and now they're all being friends together and everything and whatever. And who the fucking gives a shit? If you like the Elite, you're gonna like this. It is gonna appeal to just the base audience, and it's not gonna bring any other people in. I got sick of this shit in New Japan, even though the Golden Lovers versus the Young Bucks, Strong Style Evolved 2018, it's one of my favorite matches of that decade. That was a great goddamn match. But by and large, all this Bullet Club, Elite, being the Elite drama, it's the same bullshit, and I don't care. This episode peaked with the opening segment, and besides Taya Valkyrie and a couple other things, and the hot crowd, this was just a run-of-the-mill episode that featured matches that really didn't end up mattering all that much. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.